I'm Mark Saxton,
I'm Joey Cundiff.
and this
is
Blue Collar Sports Talk. It's been a minute, folks,
Just a little minute.
but we are back. Shades weren't on. I wasn't prepared.
It's all right. Hey, we all make mistakes. It's how you recover.
Yeah,
But this
ask
is
Ja.
only one take.
We starting off fire.
But it's by how you recover.
Yeah,
And
it
he
is.
will be suspended from what Adam Silver talked about. Sounds like a year minimum. Because it was one of those, your dad sits you down. He told you
Warned
once.
multiple times.
And then he goes, and then you really fuck up.
Right.
Like, he tells you to check the oil on your car. Okay?
Right.
You don't do it. And then you start to.
Mm.
And then he tells you, stop driving like an asshole. And then you get in a little fender bender. But it kind of fucks up some shit. And he looks at you like, son,
What did I tell you?
I'm not mad, but I'm disappointed. That's how it sounded like.
But it's time to talk some shit. And some shit we'll talk. Oh, yeah, the bottle opener.
A little worn down.
Can you do?
Used and abused.
Hey, it means we used
Yeah. No protection.
every bit of it. First time in our lives we'll get to say depth was an issue.
Okay, we're going to take a quick pause. This is definitely going to be in it, though.
Back again after technical difficulties.
Yeah, I'm used to slamming the table. He told me not to, so
I'm not mad.
okay.
Just disappointed.
Yeah, full circle here. So we're talking about the NBA.
Might as well just jump right in.
We're already here. So
Hey, the conference championships
is on. It's here, and who called the Lakers making it? By the way.
no one important, I'm sure.
Whoa! You better take it easy. Who did? I just want
Go
them to
ahead.
know.
You did.
I
And you
did.
said it when you were like, when they get rid of Russ, they'll start winning games again.
And they're going to be hard to beat.
And here we are.
Yeah, and they have a great defense, and right now Denver has a great offense. So it's just it's a battle of the immovable object and the unstoppable force.
Amen.
Who will win? And
Denver got game one.
could have been a lot worse. Now, a blowout in a playoff game we've seen every series actually.
Yeah, at least won a series at the very least.
But here's the important part: it started to be a blowout. And
They
the
fought
Lakers
back. They fought back.
made adjustments and fought back to a 3-point game.
They did.
And I don't know. I think as the Lakers, you're not discouraged after this loss. Yeah, it sucks because you came back and you could have won that game away as well. But
it wasn't like, hey, we're outclassed and outgunned.
Right.
This is a problem. This is what we were after. This was okay. We made adjustments. We brought it to within 3.
right, Schroeder's not going to play that many minutes this series. He's going to be put on the bench this series.
And
You need the tallness.
But let's flip it. Let's flip it back to the Denver side. It's just like, hey guys, hey, we thought we had them in the coffin. All we had to do was nail it shut. Didn't necessarily do that, right? They got enough to get it done.
Right.
They got them in the ground. Didn't necessarily to do enough to put their foot on a throat and call it, right?
Right.
They did end it. They did finish it. So on the Denver side, it might even help LA even more, where it's like, hey,
We were right there.
we left the door
Yeah.
open just a little bit, and in they came.
Yep. And
So-
they played not only a perfect game for just about 3 quarters, but you had lucky shots going in. It was one of those
Just
games.
momentum going. Every bounce was going their way.
Right. And I think this series will be the best series we watch in the playoffs.
I disagree. I think the Heat and the Celtics will, just because the Heat,
We'll sweep.
well, not sweep, but the Heat have been on fire. The Celtics hit and miss, right? Hit and miss.
Yeah.
But when they're on, good God.
Right. Now, why don't you walk us through that series just a little bit? And tonight, look, it's one game. You got to
it's
win
the first
4.
game. Yeah, it's the first game. So
And game 1 is usually a feel out.
yeah, well, it's not only a feel out, like you said, but it's also hey, let's try some things here and there. On
Right.
top of that, we get them a little bit more confident to try new things.
Series don't start till somebody has 2 wins.
Amen. But no, the Celtics and the Sixers, I'm scared. I was honestly scared. When the problem was when there was times where the Celtics had the edge. All of a sudden, 3-point defense was dog shit. All of a sudden, in the paint,
They forgot to shoot.
well, I'm talking defensively first.
Defensively, oh.
In the paint, everybody got soft, right? And they were just walked over. And then there were times where, like I said, they couldn't shoot. Now we're taking you're down by 2. Why are we heaving up 45 threes in the last minute of the game?
Right.
Why are we doing that? Now, granted, don't get me wrong. I understand that we've had a plethora of games in this postseason, let alone the regular season, where we're heaving up threes and draining them.
Right.
I get it, but let's not forget about the small things, and I feel like they have. Right, I feel like they have Jaylen Brown playing the small things inside the paint, and then you had Jason Tatum, who, okay, you had a 52-point game at the end of the series, but
Which
games
is the
prior,
most in a game 7, and he
Right.
just beat Steph Curry's 51.
yes, but 2 games prior,
Did
Ghost.
nothing. Yeah.
Ghost.
Yep.
I want to say 18 points, maybe.
Well,
in that area.
and a lot of the so Jason Tatum in that game 5 against Philadelphia did put up some stats. Those were garbage time stats, and I mean it looks better on the box score than what it really was.
It was at the end of the game. It was at the end of the game that it did. And I want to pull this up real quick, just a quick stat, because game 5, which was on that Saturday or Friday, game 5. 114, 102.
Might have been game 6 then.
Was it game
Yeah, it was
6?
game 6
Game
because
6.
Philadelphia could have closed it out twice. Once at home. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, 116, 115 in favor. 24 points. I said 17, but most of those 24 points did come in the fourth quarter.
What did the beard have?
Yeah, the beard, 42 points.
And now here's my hot take.
16 of 23 at the field goal. I mean,
On fire.
I don't. What do you do? What do you do when
Here's
your
my
guy?
here's my hot take. And I mean, just the history can show it. Except Tatum was a starter from day one. I think Tatum and James Harden's career are going to line up very similarly, where you're great through the regular season. You're always an MVP consideration. You're there. You have chances to be the scoring leader throughout the season, but you just fall short. And it's not being compared to James Harden is not a knock, but it's just you're one of those great players who can have spurts of greatness, but
if you're not careful, you'll slip into the darkness.
yeah, may never achieve the ultimate dream. And we're gonna see this playoffs. I mean, he has a chance. The Heat are the number 8 seed.
Right. And one thing that we can be sure of, right? One thing that we can be sure of is we need 3 components, right? We need 3 components to happen. So we need Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and all of a sudden Williams the third, right? Right? Coming in and doing work down low.
Right.
That opens up everything outside. Now, don't get me wrong, Horford, obviously a huge part of the
Right.
game, but the good thing about
Getting
Horford,
old.
the good thing about Horford, and I'm only talking offensively right now for right this second. Horford, he could play, getting old, but he could play on either side of the arch. Okay.
Right.
So I love that about him, but the 3 main components are the ones that I just named. Now, defensively, if somebody
Marcus Smart needs to turn back the clock 2 years ago.
yeah, Marcus Smart needs Marcus Smart needs to turn back the clock 2 years ago. Get down in
Or
the
even
dirty
last
areas.
year.
Get down in the dirty areas, okay? Hustle back on defense. Get in somebody's face. But I need Horford to be hard in the paint. Okay? I need Williams III to be rebounded when Horford's hard in the paint. Because that's been the formula that's been working. That's been what's been going on. And I need Tatum to guard the open man when they're doing their jobs.
He's 6'8".
You cannot be lackadaisy when everybody else is doing their part. We do that, boys, we got a ring. 106, 906 left in the fourth.
We're keeping an eye on it for you.
We're going to do what we can.
You already know the score. This will be up by tomorrow.
Sorry, I kind of jumped ahead.
You did. You got a little emotional.
I did. I'm going to say Celtics in 6.
I got Heat in 6, maybe 7. I think it's going to be one of those games where somebody ends up hurt. Not in a bad way, but
Right.
like it's going to be a physical matchup. And then Lakers Nuggets, that one's going 6 or 7. I got Lakers prevailing. I'm not a Lakers fan, by the way. I'm a Houston Rockets fan.
Right.
I have no dog in this fight,
Right.
but I said I like what the Lakers were doing when the trade deadline hit, and I said if they get Russ out, start moving some players in, get some shooters instead of what Russ is, I think they'll be fine. I think the Lakers will have a formula. So
I got Denver in 7.
yeah. So
Just because they've been. Okay, I'm gonna say this. I hate the Lakers, but I think they are the better team. But I think because Denver has so much momentum on their side,
and Jokic,
and I was just the Joker. Let's just call it what it is.
who I truly believe is the best player in basketball the last
Right.
2 years.
Well, especially right now.
Right now, yeah.
Especially
He should have
right
won
now.
MVP over
Should
Embiid.
have.
Embiid was a no-show, basically, in these playoffs.
Yeah. So, I got Denver in 7 just because of the Joker and the momentum.
Right.
Everything's kind of going their way right now.
They had their way with Phoenix, which was a bummer.
Yeah. No, agreed. Listen, I'm a Celtics fan. Okay. But I do root for the Suns being in Arizona.
Right.
And Denver kind of took a lot of wind out of the sail, beating them by 30.
Well, this is twice now. So I understand the Monty Williams fire. Like, you can't lose by double digits.
What about Ayton?
No, well, I would have never re-signed Ayton.
But they're looking for someone to blame. Why not blame the big guy in the paint who's supposed to be
No,
the big
no,
guy
no.
in the paint?
No, so I understand what you're saying, but what you miss, what I said was, I understand the Monty Williams fire. I didn't say that was the reason. So, DeAndre Ayton, the last few years that the Suns have been title contenders, it's always ran through. Yes, Devin Booker is going to have good games.
Right.
He's like, he turns into playoff Booker.
Yeah, more often than not,
right.
he'll be your guy.
Right. Now there is times where he fades, which stops him from being that superstar to just a star, and that's still not a
Knock.
why would that be a knock? But they won when Ayton won. And when Ayton doesn't win, they lose, and we saw it again and again and again. I understand the Monty Williams fire, and apparently Devin Booker was okay with it because he tweeted 36 unbothered. If you add up Kevin Durant's number, which is 35, and Devin Booker's number, 1. So they were okay with it. It's weird. I would not be okay with that. I think Monty Williams is a great coach. He's a good person. Like, from what I've heard,
Unfortunately,
he's a great person.
Phoenix needed somebody to blame. That was the guy.
And I think they're moving off DeAndre Ayton this season.
I hope so. Because I think they lost a better coach than a better player. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
All right. Now, let's talk some baseball, huh?
Fucking go. The Tigers
So fucking
are in contention, man.
So fucking
They're
mad.
there.
So fucking mad.
Let's fucking go.
I'll let you talk about the American League, and then I'll let you talk about your Tigers. Go ahead.
So the American League is stacked this year.
Ooh,
Just
on fire.
absolute. Everybody wants to play in the American League.
The Rays 20 games over 500?
Yeah, they're 32-12. Baltimore's 28-15.
Wait a second, Jimmy.
Jimmy, yeah, calm your ass down. We bet your left testicle. You didn't bet us shit because you were too drunk. That is your fault.
Amen.
Rangers doing exactly what I thought they would do. 26-16. Toronto 25-18. But